Why is everyone scared of Hassan Piker? Hassan the Hun's incendiary clips about Israel have brought flack from both sides of the aisle, but what he wants, what he says, is to make people listen. A self-described Marxist with not safe for work MS now vocabulary, Hassan the Hun has become famous as a peddler of incendiary takes, not so much moving the Overton window as throwing a brick through it. I stream for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, Piker tells Rolling Stone. I'm going to say some dumb shit. As Hassan Piker's audience has grown, he's also become a target. The New York Post sent a drone to photograph his house. He says Fox News is someone whose sole job is to watch a stream and take notes. I'm like the new transgender or the war against Christmas, he says, the Rolling Stone. You know? And I have the link for the article right here, which we will get to in a second. But yeah. Boom. Blast you in the face with it. I mean, I think you mean AOC needed Han stream with Northern Line? That's so funny. It's true. I'm the new transgender is a legit bar. Thank you. Not a good photo, not a good photo. Sorry, I think it's a great photo. It's just what I look like, man. What do you mean? Piker is a matinee, handsome, progressive icon who's uniquely talented at translating radical left politics for Gen Z bros. Trim your mustache, bro. Well, I have trimmed it now. Why you look so chopped in that picture? They did you dirty like Kim Paxton. I don't think I look chopped in this picture. Am I chopped? I mean, I'll be honest. If you think I look chopped in this picture, it just looks like me. So I guess I'm chopped, you know? I don't think it's a bad photo. But even Blue Sky's getting negatively polarized to support you with all the shit on the Sunday shows today. Good. It's kind of funny though, because you guys are like, I mean, the photographer obviously is like going for a very specific look here, like a very specific style. And some of you saw the vibes. Oh, it's 35% off, 5+ gifted subs, Hype Train level 2 at level 10. We will carry the flame. You already know. 1 minute remaining at level 2 Hype Train. My dog when I yell dinner time. Yeah, this photo's so silly. This is such a silly photo that he wanted me to take. But, you know, I obliged. People just don't like the lighting. Yeah, it's abrasive. It's abrasive. It's in your face. Throwing bagels at a wall. Thank you. Mark Levin almost died of a heart attack while talking about you, getting angrier by the minute.
Of an Al Said. It is celebrating. It is campaigning with the likes of a Hassan Piker. It is backing as a candidate in New Jersey for the House of Representatives a man who was the interpreter for the blind sheik, for God's sakes. And we're supposed to play stupid? We're supposed to play dumb? How dare you raise these concerns and these issues? Do we have the will to survive as a society? Do we have the will to live as a people? Do we have the desire to protect our country and our culture and our lifestyle?
I gotta pee.
Defend what has been fought for by generation after generation, handed to us on a silver platter? Is this the generation that's going to surrender our country to this enemy? Yes or no? There was a time, not so long ago, when one generation ensured that the next generation and future generations would live in a country better than the country we live in. By using the Constitution, by using the private sector, by using our brains and our hard work. Now we have people, affordability. You can't afford a taco. Are you kidding me? They want a free ticket on education. They want a free ticket on everything. And if you don't give it to them, they're talking up socialism. They're talking up communism. Oh, woe is me. Woe is me. We don't have a draft. We're fighting a war in the Middle East. The vast majority of the American people are utterly unaffected. Utterly unaffected. With our volunteer military, our heroes over there. And so we find excuses. Oh, $1 of gasoline went up. I don't remember so much noise about the price of gasoline when the issue was climate change, when the Democrats were in charge, when they drove up the price of a gallon of gasoline higher than it's ever been at any time during this war with Iran. It's unbelievable to me.
Mark Levin.
That there's no way that's his like outro. Now this is him actually yelling at the voters, being concerned about the cost of living, and then the Iran war. Oh my God, he's so mad. Oh my God, he's so mad. This is amazing. This is amazing. I've never seen him this mad. We have to do something with this. This is too good. This is too good to just like. This is too good to just like leave unnoticed, unused. You know what I mean? He is genuinely, legitimately fucking crashing out, dude. It's awesome. Why the fuck would anybody care about the price of gasoline as long as we're following the goals of Israel? Bark Levin. That is awesome. Imagine you calling him Fart Levin every time you said his name, where he calls you Puker. Yeah. God, my goat. My goat. The best of Mark Levin is right. He is the best of the best. Anyway, you got the ASIN retweet. Yeah, I said Republicans are the cancel culture party, always have been. He's intro baiting. Okay. There's so much to talk about today, folks. There's so much to talk about today. There's so much going on. What is this? Your ops are grasping at straws to be a hater on Abdul. Abdul says a Rhodes Scholar, receives MD from Columbia University, professor of epidemiology, and gave commencement address. He was the executive director of the Detroit Health Department. His publications in public health include 3 books and several hundred academic journal articles. So I have respect for expertise, but I don't understand why any of this means I should defer to his views on economics, politics, or foreign policy, or pretty much anything else. Dude, the guy who you have voted for as president and the party that you defend is run by a guy with 0 qualifications. Okay? 0. As a matter of fact, Abdul al-Sayed's background gives us a unique opportunity for him to defend. He bragged about having 14 million viewers and saying your reach is a joke. Wait, what?
He has a 3 million person platform. And
hey, I have a 14.5 million person platform, Mr. Producer, don't I?
That's so funny. Mark Levin getting fucking butt mogged and view mogged by me. And he has to go, I have more viewers. Dog, you have 1.5K views on this fucking clip. Okay, you have 1,500 views on this clip.
This is what these podcaster clowns don't understand, and they're misled by entities like Talk Magazine and others. Totally misled, but we have a massive audience here. People come and go, every hour, every day. But 3 million is a joke. I'm just saying, 3 million is a joke.
Level 1 slop tuber laps him. Yeah. He's so ass that his anti-Hasan, his fuck Hasan ripcord is not even working for him in the YouTube algorithm when usually when usually the YouTube algorithm favors that kind of thing. He is so bad. My Fox News watching parents have officially learned about Hasan Piker and sat me, a late 20s woman, down for a serious chat about how I have to wake up and fight against the rising tide of communism in this country yesterday. Make it stop, Haas. I can't take it anymore. This is a great opportunity for you to have a conversation with your parents about how it's not scary. This worldview is not scary and is shared by many others. And that's it. Anyway, if you are small, why is he covering you? Yeah, it's just funny. I'm both weak and small. I'm both radical and I'm both anti-woke and too woke. I'm all of the above all the time. Okay? It is what it is. That's where we're at. Across the board, you know? I will just say it like this. Republicans chirping about a Twitch streamer, Republicans chirping about the DSA, Republicans fucking constantly complaining about shit like this, saying that these guys are too radical, these guys are, these guys and their worldview is too scary at a time when people are desperate for this exact same kind of change, when what we are offering is an antidote to business as usual politics, is good for us. I mean, this is the reverse Trump equation in many respects, where instead of the heightened media attention turning us into a force for evil in the same way that Donald Trump did, this is an opportunity for us to turn this heightened media attention into a force for good. You know, mass adoption of certain policies. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. But in any case, we'll get started today on who's afraid of Hasan Piker. There's a real honor for your boy here. I'm on the title of the Rolling Stone article is on the cover. So I guess technically we made it onto the cover of the upcoming month's Rolling Stone magazine. Grace Abrams is on the cover of the magazine. Zohran Mamdani's on the cover as well, alongside myself. The title of this article is, "Why is everyone scared of Hasan Piker?" His incendiary clips about Israel have brought flack from both sides of the aisle. But what he wants, he says, is to make people listen. This is by Josh Eels, and photographs are by Daniel Dorsa. And it starts off as such. "The first time I met Hasan Piker, he's meant to be 5,000 miles away. Dude, I'm supposed to be in London right now," says Piker, the leftist political commentator and controversy magnate, sitting on the back patio of his Los Angeles townhouse. He's dressed in a standard work uniform of blazer and tie, having just clocked out after another shift in the content mines, gabbing about news and politics for his 3 million followers on Twitch. "I genuinely did not expect this to happen," he says. "It's very shitty." Months earlier, Piker had planned a trip to Britain that included a panel at South by Southwest London and a speech at the Oxford Union. But 48 hours before his flight, he got a text from his uncle, Cenk Uygur, a fellow commentator who was also going on the trip. "I'm at the airport," Piker remembers Uygur telling him. "They said my visa's been revoked." Piker checked his email. Sure enough, his had been canceled too. He read the message live on stream to his 30,000 viewers. "Dear Hasan Dawn Piker, your UK electronic travel authorization has been canceled. This is because your presence in the UK is not considered to be conducive to the public good." Just like that, he'd been travel banned. Piker 35 is no stranger to brouhahas, a self-described Marxist with a not safe for work, not safe with an NSF, MS Now. Wait. Oh, it's not safe for work. They're saying not safe for MS Now. I misunderstood that initially. Not safe for MS Now vocabulary. He's become famous as a peddler of incendiary takes, not so much moving the Overton window as throwing a brick through it. Among his greatest hits, America Deserved 9/11. There's a lot we can learn from the Chinese Communist Party. Let the streets soak in red capital's blood. Most he'd later walk back, if not apologize for. But he's still been suspended from Twitch more times than he can count. "I stream for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week," Piker says, shrugging. "I'm going to say some dumb shit. But at the end of the day, we're talking about more than 10,000 hours of content. And they've got like 4 quotes they keep hammering on to be like, this guy's a dangerous radical. It's very silly." Since October 7, however, Piker's number one issue by far has been Gaza. He's a relentless critic of Israel, and he's garnered hundreds of headlines with quotes like "Hamas is 1,000 times better than Israel." Naturally, this has also led to accusations of anti-Semitism, which Piker calls ridiculous. "I've spent my whole life fighting anti-Semitism," he says, referring to his history of battling neo-Nazis online. Instead, he calls himself a proud anti-Zionist. And unfortunately, the way many Zionist institutions defend Israel is by calling their opposition anti-Semitic. Still, the UK ban surprised them. Piker has visited Britain several times, including just last year, but in the weeks leading up to his trip, several Jewish groups spoke out against him, calling him a terrorist sympathizer. For Piker, there's no doubt what happened. If you criticize Israel, your travel will be restricted, he says. It's straight up fascism. Bald Matt Iglesias. No, it's so funny. They can't get a straightforward disavowal, so they are just literally making it seem like there's a straightforward disavowal here. And they're just going to go along with that anyway. And if it makes people happy, it's fine. But I do think it's a trick. We'll get to this in a second. So what's going on here is Abdul saying exactly what he said from the start, which is like, I'm not going to disavow the platform. I'm not going to disavow the man. I'm just disavowing that statement, which he himself has disavowed, right? That's what he said. But I think this is a trap because they can't get that quote out of people. So what they're basically trying to do is to claim that it happened so that if I actually appear alongside them or if I continue showing support for them, then they can be like, oh, he flip-flopped. It's a way to clip chimp and try to set it up as though like, oh yes, everyone is now officially outcast Hasan. It is what it is. It is what it is. I think, yeah, they're basically manufacturing a distancing operation when no such thing is existing. So they're trying to set it up as that kind of narrative, so that eventually they'll turn around and say, yeah. Podsafe full of shit talking about you doing the same thing too. Yeah, I know. It's mostly just to satiate the appetite of the political polls, the political folks on election Twitter, and I guess like potentially create like a larger controversy to make it seem like there's like a real distancing taking place. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. What matters is the truth, and even the article that these dumbasses are linking literally shows the full scope of the statement. It's the same thing with Zoran. When Zoran was like, I disagree with his statement on 9/11. I think it's I completely disavow that statement, but I'm not going to stop going on these sorts of platforms. And then they were like, oh, he distances himself. The irony, of course, is, and this should have been the Zoran moment should have been like the clearest indication of a couple things. Number one, the media will never give up on that, right? You're distancing yourself will still lead to the media, partnering us together no matter what. It's not going to stop the harassment. But the goal here is to make it seem like, what is this? Or are you too toxic now? No, I'm not. The goal here is to basically make it seem like there's friction. The goal here is to make it seem like there's friction. And if there is no friction, to generate friction, right? Because there's going to be people in the edges that see the article title and go, oh, finally, Abdul has distanced himself from Hasan. There will be a lot of like stupid social democrats too. Like a lot of people who find themselves as like election understanders who have been begging. They're like, dude, you got to do this. You got to do this. Not realizing that it's not, this is the same take that Zoran had. It's the same take that Abdul has, same take that AOC has, same take that Bernard had, which is like these guys understand the necessity for independent media that anchors this movement to a certain degree. And so do our enemies. Let's be real. So does corporate media. That's precisely the reason why there's this like attempt, right? But they've done the right thing. They've done it so perfectly. Especially what Abdul said was so perfect, because he was like, yeah, I disavow his comments about 9/11, and so does he. Which is the truth. But I think a lot of these people will try to read whatever they read. Will try to read into it and read whatever they read, and then I guess they'll be shocked in the future. Anyway, let's get back to the Rolling Stone article. The whole episode is pure Piker. To his fans and allies, including left populist politicians like Bernie Sanders, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and the mostly young, mostly straight men who get their news from him every day, Piker is a matinee, handsome, progressive icon who's uniquely talented at translating radical left politics for the kind of Gen Z bros who think hegemony has something to do with Equinox, a Eugene Debs who deadlifts, Abby Hoffman with abs. Recently, he's also been putting his materials framework into praxis, moving from promoting causes to promoting candidates and winning. But to his legion of enemies, from MAGA reactionaries to the Anti-Defamation League to mere centrist Democrats, Piker is a loudmouth extremist who's actively harming the country. A post-woke, class-first progressive. I've prayed for times like these. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what's going on. Anyway. Piker says he isn't too worried about the UK ban. I'm not like dying to go to the UK, he says, laughing. I don't really care. But my question is, who else is going to get barred? Is Ilhan Omar allowed in the country? Is AOC? What are the standards now? I think liberal democracy, he says, is cooked. That said, if he's being honest, it's not great for him either. I mean, the UK ban is not the only government-related issue I have. He says he's alluding to the fact that in May, the U.S. Office of Foreign Assets Control reportedly began investigating his trip he took to Cuba, ostensibly a humanitarian mission, but potentially a violation of U.S. sanctions punishable by 20 years in prison. And for Donald Trump's Justice Department, a millionaire California socialist offers a pretty tempting target. Piker's job title is live streamer, but if you were born before, say, the year 2000, that might not fully explain what he does. I yap for a living, he says. A typical show features a deep dive on the day's headlines with his commentary interspersed, an interview or two with a newsmaker or expert, long-form cable news reports that he paused for reactions, fun segments on sports or memes or pop culture or whatever random jokes or TikToks people send to the chat. It's AM talk radio for the ADHD generation. Or as Piker jokes, Rush Limbaugh for Zoomers. His day starts around 6 a.m. when he rolls out of bed and starts scrolling Twitter, Democracy Now!, Fox News. He drinks an espresso and takes his supplements, zinc, fish oil, ashwagandha, in a kitchen full of Build bars and bumper sticker on the oven that says, I heart being mad online. He drafts a rough outline for the show, then spends a couple hours walking his dog, working out. Got to maintain that muscle mass, he says. 35 is when your testosterone levels start declining. Then he showers and puts on a suit, downs an iced coffee or two, snaps a fit pic for Instagram, and sits down for another stream. The suits are a new development. It's partly because he's getting older, he says, and partly because he thinks it looks cool. Now that I'm getting blasted in an audience that has never heard of me, there's some value in respectability politics. In other words, the Debras and the Karens who encounter him as Fox News boogeyman might be more receptive if he's dressed like a grown-up. One morning, I watch him from just off camera. His office walls are full of samurai swords and revolutionary art, and his desk is littered with Zing cans and sugar-free Dr. Peppers. He pulls up a New York Times article on one of his 3 monitors and screen shares it to the stream. His assistant Hannah sits working on a laptop one room over, while his 110-pound St. Bernard mix, Kaya, lies next to him drooling. Piker, 6'4" and jacked with moss-cocked glasses and thick brown beard that's graying at the corner, starts riffing on the Iran ceasefire and housing bill while simultaneously juggling clips and keeping one eye on the infinitely scrolling chat. Are we reading fanfic? Dog, this is literally what a fucking profile piece is. You guys are so goddamn illiterate that you don't even understand what like a comprehensive Rolling Stone profile is supposed to look like. This is not fan fiction. This is a profile. Chatters are like, what? He's describing your day-to-day activities? What the fuck? Is this smut? No. You have to remember, this is mostly not for you. This is mostly for people who are completely uninitiated and don't know anything about me that read Rolling Stone. Yeah, some of y'all need to read Hunter S. Thompson immediately. Anyway. While simultaneously juggling kids, it's a brain-melting sensory overload. Piker thrives on it. When I go live, everything else goes quiet, he says. I'm just locked in. Piker says he's had lots of offers from legacy media networks, but he has no interest in giving up his independence. He got an assistant only a year ago, and he's just starting to let her help produce the stream. Recently, they got a second camera so they can change angles, and it was a big thing to let me be in charge of it, Hannah says. Afterwards, he sat me down and showed me a Charlie Rose interview. Like, I have notes for you. For a Marxist, Piker's job is about as pure capitals as it gets. He controls the means of production. His profits are based entirely on the market. A subscription to his channel runs $6 a month with nearly 50,000 subscribers minus Twitch's 30% cut. That's somewhere north of $2 million per year. His only business expenses are travel and Hannah. He doesn't run ads or do brand partnerships, though many have tried. I tell him to fuck off. On the other hand, a lot of advertisers might not want to partner with a guy who said his favorite flag is Hezbollah's. The beauty of his streaming is that Piker can set his own hours. The irony is, he works all the fucking time. It's been months since he took a day off, and even that was to do a photo shoot and record his weekly podcast Fear Ed. He says he feels an obligation to show up for his fans who rely on him for their news the way other people do CNN or NPR. I view that as a very important responsibility. As Piker's audience has grown, he's also become a target. The New York Post sent a drone to photograph his house. He says Fox News is someone whose sole job is to watch his stream and take notes. I'm like the new transgender or the war against Christmas, he jokes. He claims to get hundreds of death threats a day, and he's been spotted multiple times. I hate that they put that in there, including one raid that ended up with Hannah in handcuffs. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, whatever. It doesn't happen anymore. He worries about his safety, especially after the murder of Charlie Kirk, an acquaintance whom he was scheduled to debate just days after he was killed. I try not to think about it, Piker says. I do take measures, though. I will not elaborate on them. At the end of a stream, Piker is pretty wiped. He calls this time the dead zone. Usually he just eats dinner and crashes, but one night I tag along on a rare evening out to a party for the premiere of a film from his buddies at the Dirtbag Left podcast Chapo Trap House. Piker could dominate a scene like this, but unlike his alpha bro online persona, in real life he's gentle, reserved, and a little bit awkward. He has a tendency to fiddle nervously with his fingernails and lapels. He spends a minute by the bar chatting with hack star and fan of the podcast Hannah Einbinder, then grabs a Sapporo and hits the back patio to talk to a friend about Graham Plattner's implosion. After the screening, he congratulates the guys and takes a few selfies with fans. But when everyone else heads for the after party, he bows out. I gotta head home, he says, checking his watch. It's almost my bedtime. I have to stream in the morning. The next day, Piker's family is over. His mom lives in a nearby apartment he got for her, and his little brother Murat and sister-in-law live close as well. His dad, meanwhile, just flew in from Turkey, and they're all going on vacation to an undisclosed island. They make it seem like I'm going to Jeffrey Epstein Island. Jesus Christ. When Piker walks in, they're having breakfast on the patio, talking to one another in Turkish. It could be a sitcom, Hannah says. They annoy him, but he loves them so much. Piker disappears upstairs to shower, and his dad, a retired corporate executive with a PhD in economics who's written 4 books about European Union antitrust law, quickly makes himself scarce. But his mom sticks around. An architectural historian who specializes in 19th century Turkish interiors, Sedef Piker is a supporting character on the stream, occasionally popping up in the background with some meze or motherly wisdom. The chat calls her Anne, Turkish for mom. Sedef says she shares Piker's politics with a few exceptions. I'm not in love with China like he is, he tells me. Dude, I swear to God, my family, everyone is a op. They really need to learn what to say and what not to say, jokingly or unjokingly, to reporters. And I've literally had to sit them down and have long conversations with them. But my mom, anytime there is a reporter, she yaps for 700 hours with the reporter. While I'm here live streaming, I have no control over what she's saying, but she loves, they're not PR trained at all. They don't know how to talk to journalists. They don't know what to say to journalists. And they will literally just be like, here, let me show you photos of him in diapers. It's crazy. Sometimes she wishes he would tone it down and not joke so much. I worry about him, she says. The internet is a very savage place, but mostly she's happy he stopped posting so many shirtless pics in the bathtub. I'm glad we moved on from the naked pictures to suits, she says. Piker's Twitch username is HasanAbi from Turkish for big brother, because he's like a big brother to his young fans. But he was Murat's Abi first. At one point, Piker overhears his brother telling me about his old job as an aerospace engineer at Boeing. I actually worked on the VC-25B a little bit, Murat says, technical name for the new Air Force One. Yeah, Piker butts in, on the toilet. Don't let him act like he did anything cool. Piker was born in New Brunswick, New Jersey in 1991, but the family immediately moved back to Turkey, and he grew up in Ankara and Istanbul. His accent, though, is 100% American. A shy, chunky kid who loved World of Warcraft and anime. He got bullied often. I was very timid, a lot of social anxiety, hyper aware. Well, not World of Warcraft. That's wrong. I don't know why they didn't fact check that. I said Warcraft 3 and Dota, but they got it as World of Warcraft, I guess. I was not allowed to play World of Warcraft. Anyway, I just kept to myself and drew a lot. Piker's mom wanted to keep him connected to America, so she brought him to stay with his grandparents in central New Jersey every summer. You can learn a language, she explains, but you can't learn a culture. He went to basketball camp at the YMCA, watched Adult Swim, and played PlayStation 2 and spent hours reading comics at Borders and Barnes & Noble. When you're growing up in a different country, American consumerism is incredible, Piker says. Free refills, 30 different flavors of Oreos. Silly, simple things like that I still really love about America. He started getting into politics as a preteen. It was early 2000s and repression was on the rise worldwide. George W. Bush in the U.S. and Recep Tayyip Erdogan in Turkey. Piker fell in love with Jon Stewart's The Daily Show and Turkish satirical newspapers and cartoons. He remembers being 12 and racing to the bakkal, the Turkish bodega, every week to get the latest issues when they came out. I was a huge fucking nerd for sure. Piker's dual upbringing gave him a complex view of America. He had a front row seat to the consequences of American foreign policy, the refugee crises, the senseless bloodshed. Still, he dreamed of coming back. When people would ask, what do you want to be? I'd say, I want to go to college in America, he says. It's actually the most common attitude around the planet. People love the culture and the promise of America, but they fucking hate the government. In 2009, Piker enrolled in the University of Miami. He lost weight, got a job as a nightclub promoter, started partying with football players, and had sex for the first time. At the end of his freshman year, at a 2.9 GPA, and his parents made him transfer to Rutgers. I think he still blames me for it, his mom says, but I was like, this cannot go anywhere good. It's true. After graduation, Piker moved to LA and took a job with his uncle's media startup, The Young Turks. He worked in ad sales, but talked his way on camera whenever he could. At first, I was terrible, he says. People would pull me aside like, bro, you're embarrassing yourself. But I knew if I kept doing it, I'm eventually going to be good. One of his big influences was, surprisingly, Joe Rogan. Piker used to be a huge Rogan fan back before the Islamophobia and ivermectin. This is like 2014, before he started interviewing every white supremacist in the world, Piker says. I always admired that he had this unbelievable autonomy. This guy says whatever the fuck he wants, interview who he wants, and there's no editorial control. I want that. Piker started his Twitch channel in 2018. His first broadcast had a whopping 35 viewers, but gradually he built an audience, and by 2020 he was successful enough to stream full-time. Then the pandemic hit, and Piker was stuck in his one-bedroom apartment, depressed and alone. He'd stream for 14 hours a day just to have some connection. He spent 42% of the entire year on camera. In the beginning, Piker wanted to show young men that leftists could be fun, not just woke social justice warriors and PC scolds. He played Fortnite, posed with swords and guns, posted thirst traps, and, as he readily admits, trafficked in his share of gross and fratty sexism, like when he called Hannah Montana a little slut. He later dubbed it a desperate attempt to try to be funny and apologize. That wasn't on Twitch. That was in like 2013. By 2023, he had, this is the bro tips era. That was literally 2013. His dad finally stopped asking. By 2023, he had 2 million followers. His dad finally stopped asking when he was going back to grad school. Then came October 7. Immediately, Piker declared Hamas's attacks Israel's fault, costing him a third of his viewers. People were just not ready for it, he says. Critics called him a terrorist, or worse. He felt discouraged and thought seriously about quitting the stream. A recent poll found significantly more Democrats had a favorable view of the Palestinian people than the Israeli people, and the Israeli government clocked in only 3 points better than Hamas. Whether or not you think Piker is anti-Semitic, his fundamental stance on Israel isn't far from the mainstream left. Piker calls it this 3-year shit show I've had to withstand for having the correct position too early. Still, even his allies admit he can go too far while making a point. Piker cops to having emotional outbursts and occasional hyperbole, but he swears he isn't trying to rage bait and that nothing he says is fake or phony. In some ways, it is a performance, but existence is a performance, he says. I could speak in sanitized academic language all day, but that wouldn't be as entertaining or reach as many people. So I speak in a way that people understand, and sometimes I push buttons. Consider his infamous line about Hamas being 1,000 times better than Israel, which Piker has acknowledged is intentionally provocative. I say that on purpose, he says. I want to force people to really think about what I'm saying. I want to challenge them to think about it a little bit. He could alienate a lot fewer people by simply inverting the formulation. Hamas is bad, but Israel's worse. But that's not his style. First of all, everyone says that, he says. I'm not interested in the many bad things Hamas has done. I'm trying to get people to understand why someone becomes Hamas. Do I agree with everything they do? Of course not. I've called out their war crimes myself. But the point is to make people identify from their perspective. Palestinians have lived under this brutal occupation for 75 years. Put yourself in their shoes. There's an entire ecosystem designed to filter everything I say in the most negative way possible, he continues. I definitely don't think it's good that the first interaction the average person has with me is that I'm an anti-Semitic terrorist. But an outraged machine player can't hate the attention economy game. It is what it is, he says. I can't really do anything but keep pushing and hope some people will at least scratch the surface and try to find out what my actual position is. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but hopefully more people will pay attention, and hopefully they'll be charitable. Hopefully they'll think, I've heard a lot about this guy. I kind of understand what he's saying. One morning in June, Piker flies to Denver to appear at a rally for Maylak Quiros, a 29-year-old lawyer turned barista running for Congress. Quiros is challenging Representative Diana DeGette, a 69-year-old Democrat who first got elected to the House the year before Quiros was born. The local Democratic Socialists of America chapter helps organize the event. It's already been moved twice to larger venues. The theme of the rally is young, bold, and unbought. Piker lands around 10 a.m. He heads to his hotel to stream for a bit, wearing a new green mouse suit and a DSA pin. Got a banger of a speech for the commie rally later, he tells chat. This is the new frontier for Piker. Grassroots electoral politics, rubber meeting the road. He says he started thinking about it sometime last year. He went to LA ICE protests and No King's March and observed that unlike at the student encampments he was used to, there were a lot of old people. Even when the boomer class is frustrated, I thought it was a good opportunity for me to get involved. Piker sees himself as a populist megaphone, using his platform to amplify candidates and mobilizing his fans. The phone bank or door knock for them. I try to convert my audience from disillusioned, angry teenagers into diligent organizers for these campaigns, he says. His record so far is pretty good. Those chosen candidates have lost races in California. He was one of the earliest backers of New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani. And in the recent New York primaries, his slate went 3 for 3, including Daria Liza Avila Chevalier, a 32-year-old pro-Palestine activist who ousted a 5-term congressman. As California Representative Ro Khanna, a 2028 hopeful and another Piker favorite, tells him on the stream one day, basically the pattern is you go and support them, the establishment attacks you, and the candidate ends up winning. Piker doesn't love having candidates on the stream. He finds it boring, but he's more than happy to stump for someone he believes in. He says he's fielded requests from hundreds of campaigns, not just in deep blue races, but in swingy places too. So far, he's mostly lent his support to Democrats who are DSA or DSA adjacent, basically anyone who supports Medicare for all and is willing to call Gaza a genocide. I have my vision for the future, he says, and I'm just pushing towards that with a little pickaxe, mining away in my cave. Piker says the ire from Democrats started ramping up during Mamdani's race and has only intensified since. But despite the complaints, he's not interested in building coalitions or pivoting to the center. His mission is to drag the party to the left. He also disputes the notion that electing socialists will hurt the party and the rest of the country. I don't think it's a sincere fear, he says. It's hard to gauge Piker's impact in terms of vote margin or turnout, but there are data points. Quiros says that in the 48 hours after she appeared on a stream, her campaign raked $40,000 in donations, significantly more than a normal 2-day period, as well as a huge influx of new volunteers. But Piker can also complicate things, as Quiros would soon find out. On the day of the Denver rally, the venue's owners tell the campaign they're canceling the contract. 2 previous venues canceled as well. They make a reference to pushback from the community, but organizers get the clear impression that it's about Piker. Piker learns about the cancellation live on stream. The venue owners blacklisted us, he says. It's the UK ban all over again. It's discouraging, I'll be honest. Piker says, I had a whole speech. Ugh, this sucks, man. The Quiros campaign quickly pivots to a protest at the state capitol. Instead, by 4 p.m., a few hundred people have amassed on the Capitol steps. Quiros gets on the mic and gives a fiery stump speech about billionaires and corporations trying to silence their movement. Piker tells the chat he's heading over there soon, but as the rally wraps up, he's still in his hotel streaming alone in the room. Later, Piker tells me he skipped the event because of security concerns. We decided it wasn't safe for me, he says, and therein lies the rub of Piker. On the one hand, he can fire up the base like no one else, but on the other, is the drama that follows him more trouble than worth? For Quiros, the calculus is easy. Do I agree with everything Hasan says? Of course not, she says, but I don't believe he's hateful, and I think a lot of this pearl-clutching and cherry-picking of his statements is not helping our cause. If we're fighting the oligarchy, we have to have a big tent. Hasan is on the side of the working people getting power back. Sure enough, 2 weeks later, Piker flies back to Denver unannounced to give a pep talk to some Quiros canvassers and tag along for last-minute door knocking. That night, when she spots him at her victory party, having trounced the incumbent by 13 points, Quiros gives him a big hug. Hold on. Doors open. On a sunny Sunday morning in July, Piker parks his Mercedes at a park in West Hollywood and hops out wearing short shorts and high tops. It's time to touch grass. He drops Kaya at the dog park and joins the pickup basketball game he plays in semi-regularly. It's a good group, he says. Some guys are ass, some are decent, everyone's a ball hog. They shoot around for a while, then someone puts Drake on the boombox and the game starts. It's far from intense. I think knee braces and air balls. No one seems to give a shit who Piker is, which is probably the point. Piker is an unselfish teammate. He shoots a brick from the top of the key, then another from the paint. After he misses an open layup, he sticks to passing from each according to his ability. That is crazy. That's crazy. Okay, it wasn't a good day for me. It wasn't a good day for me. Wow. That's fucked up.